What's up, entrepreneurs? You got that fire in your belly, that itch to create something awesome, something big. You're thinking about launching your own clothing line. Good for you. That's hustle. But let me tell you, the fashion game is no joke. It's cutthroat. You've got to be smart, you've got to be strategic, and you've got to avoid the landmines that have taken down businesses before you. Today, we're going to talk about something crucial if you're thinking of starting your own clothing line. The 7 biggest mistakes that cause clothing brands to fail. We're gonna break down each mistake. Real talk, no BS. And I'm not just going to tell you what not to do. I'm going to give you real life examples of brands that made these mistakes, how it blew up in their faces, and what you can learn from their failures. We'll also share some real life examples of brands that made these mistakes and what you can learn from them. Let's dive right in. Look, I get it. You want everyone to love your designs. You're thinking, Gary, my clothes are dope. They're for everyone. But let me tell you something, trying to appeal to everyone is the kiss of death in this business. It's like trying to be a jack of all trades. You end up mastering none. You need laser focus, my friends. You need to know who your ideal customer is inside and out. What are they into? What's their lifestyle like? Where do they hang out? What are their pain points? You need to get so specific with your target audience that you can picture them in your mind. Remember Gap? They were iconic, man. Everyone was rocking Gap back in the day, but then they got greedy. They tried to be everything to everyone. They diluted their brand, lost their identity, and alienated their core customers. What happened? Sales plummeted. Between 2000 and 2010, their sales dropped by a whopping 50%. That's half their business gone. Why? Because they lost sight of who they were and who their real customers were. Don't make the same mistake. Niche down. Find your tribe, those people who vibe with your brand, and cater to them. Don't try to be everything to everyone, because you'll end up being nothing to no one. Listen up, because this is crucial. Quality over everything. You can have the coolest designs, the most on-trend styles, but if your clothes fall apart after a few washes, you're toast. People are willing to pay for quality. They want clothes that last, clothes they can feel good in. If you cut corners on fabric, on stitching, on manufacturing, your customers will notice. And you know what? They'll call you out on it. Remember Forever 21? They were all about that fast fashion, churning out cheap, trendy clothes, and for a while, it worked. But then, people started realizing that the quality just wasn't there. The clothes fell apart, the colors faded, and customers felt ripped off. The backlash was swift and brutal. People took to social media, they wrote scathing reviews, and Forever 21's reputation took a nosedive. And guess what? They filed for bankruptcy in 2019. Don't be like Forever 21. Invest in quality fabrics, find reliable manufacturers, and make sure your clothes are built to last. It might cost you a little more upfront, but trust me, it's an investment that will pay off in the long run. This one's a silent killer, folks. It sneaks up on you. You're so focused on designing, marketing, and selling that you forget about the boring stuff, the logistics, and then bam, you're drowning in unsold inventory. Or worse, you can't meet demand. Inventory management is all about finding that sweet spot, having the right amount of stock at the right time. Overstock and you're stuck with a warehouse full of clothes you can't sell. Understock and you're missing out on sales, frustrating customers, and damaging your brand's reputation. Let's talk about American Apparel. They were on fire in the early 2000s. Everyone wanted a piece of that made in America cool. But their rapid expansion came at a cost. They overestimated demand, expanded too quickly, and ended up with a mountain of unsold inventory. They were forced to offer huge discounts, slashing prices just to move product. This killed their profit margins and contributed to their eventual bankruptcy in 2015. Don't let this happen to you. Use technology to your advantage. There are amazing inventory management tools out there like TradeGecko or Zoho Inventory. These tools can help you track your stock levels, forecast demand, and optimize your inventory to avoid costly mistakes. Chapter 4: Ignoring Branding and Marketing. You've got an amazing clothing line, but if nobody knows about it, you might as well be selling clothes out of your basement. This is where branding and marketing come in, folks. This is how you tell your story, how you connect with your audience, and how you make your brand stand out in a crowded market. Branding is about creating an identity, a personality for your brand. It's about the feelings you evoke in your customers, the message you're trying to convey. Marketing is about getting that message out there, reaching your target audience and convincing them to buy your product. Let's look at J. Crew. They used to be the go-to brand for preppy classic style. But somewhere along the way, they lost their way. Their branding became inconsistent, their marketing felt stale, and they failed to connect with younger generations. They were slow to embrace social media, slow to adapt to changing trends, and slow to realize that their old marketing playbook wasn't working anymore. As a result, they lost relevance, lost market share, and found themselves in deep financial trouble. Don't be like J. Crew. Invest in building a strong brand identity that resonates with your target audience. Use social media to connect with your customers, collaborate with influencers, and create engaging content that showcases your brand's personality. Chapter 5. Pricing too high or too low. Pricing is a delicate dance, my friends. You need to find that sweet spot. The price that feels right to your customers while still allowing you to make a profit. Price too high and you'll alienate potential customers. They'll think you're too expensive, too exclusive, and they'll go elsewhere. Price too low and you'll devalue your brand. Customers will question your quality, your worth. Plus, you'll struggle to cover your costs, let alone make a profit. Let's talk about Barney's New York. They were a luxury department store known for their high-end fashion and designer labels, but they made a crucial mistake. They priced themselves out of the market. They catered to the elite, the 1%, and ignored the rest of us. As a result, they struggled to attract a wider customer base, their sales stagnated, and they were forced to declare bankruptcy in 2019. Don't make the same mistake. Do your research, study your target market, and analyze your competition. Figure out what your customers are willing to pay for your products and price accordingly. Remember, it's all about finding that balance between value and affordability. Chapter 6. Failure to adapt to trends. The fashion industry is constantly evolving, my friends. What's hot today might be yesterday's news tomorrow. You need to have your finger on the pulse, be aware of the latest trends, and be willing to adapt. This doesn't mean you need to chase every fad, jump on every bandwagon, but you do need to be aware of what your customers want, what they're responding to, and be willing to evolve your designs accordingly. Let's look at Abercrombie Fitch. They were the kings of preppy cool in the late 90s and early 2000s, but then they got stuck. They clung to their logo-heavy aesthetic, their exclusionary marketing tactics, and their outdated image. They failed to adapt to changing tastes, refused to embrace diversity and inclusivity, and, as a result, they became irrelevant. Their sales plummeted, their stores closed, and they became a cautionary tale of what happens when you fail to evolve. Don't be like Abercrombie Fitch. Stay ahead of the curve. Use trend forecasting tools like WGSN or Pinterest trends. Pay attention to what's happening on social media, what influencers are wearing, and what your competitors are doing. Chapter 7. Ineffective online presence. We live in a digital world, folks. If you're not online, you might as well not exist. This is especially true for clothing brands. Your online presence is your storefront, your showroom, your everything. You need a killer website, engaging social media channels, and a seamless online shopping experience. If your website is clunky, your checkout process is a pain, or your social media is dead, you're losing customers. Remember Sears? They were a retail giant, a household name. But they failed to adapt to the digital age. Their website was clunky, their online shopping experience was terrible, and they completely ignored the rise of e-commerce. They underestimated the power of Amazon, the convenience of online shopping, and the importance of a seamless digital experience. As a result, they lost market share, their stores closed, and they filed for bankruptcy in 2019. Don't be like Sears. Invest in your online presence. Build a beautiful mobile-friendly website. Create engaging content for social media. Use platforms like Shopify or BigCommerce to set up a professional online store. Outright avoiding the pitfalls, your clothing brand's success story starts now. So there you have it, the 7 biggest mistakes that can cause a clothing brand to fail. By learning from these real-life examples, you can avoid these pitfalls and set your brand up for success. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Building a successful brand takes time, it takes dedication, and it takes hustle. Remember to define your target audience, focus on quality, manage your inventory wisely, and don't neglect your online presence. These are just a few of the key ingredients to building a brand that lasts, a brand that connects with your audience, and a brand that makes a real impact. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to Bartow & Company, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you about any other business topics you'd like us to cover. See you in the next video.